Just changing the topic.
Shut up
and sit down.
My BC clap, my BC clap, my BC clap. My BC clap, my BC clap, my BC clap. My BC clap, my BC clap, my BC clap. Have you seen me yet in my BC clap? Get your tools out, you can come and tweak these sets. I got a vicious cycle, I'm riding it right though. The places that I go, the kids go psycho. Rips in my hands, roll under my feet. One day we'll be taking over the streets. The ramps get brought out, the jumps are up. You get air, pump it up. I'm a fella who can settle for a special grilling pedals to the metal while the feeder is stilettos in the hello. Let's go for a ride, you and I don't mind if you're on a shiny ship or if it's ghetto, take either. I've ridden whips, ridden beaters, cruisers, all terrains and two-seaters. Used to do it top speed, nobody could touch me. Now I'm on a chill tip, gliding on my Dutchie.
You are listening to the Dialed Podcast with Matt Lee Grand, Evan Price, Lance Hepler, and Jake Von During. Here is another Chinese proverb for you. A crisis is an opportunity riding in dangerous wind. If life is crazy upside down for you, make sure you always look for that opportunity. It's there somewhere.
Hello, it's just me and my bellow, rocking a side pony and stilettos. Let's go. We ride these streets, working our glutes, being urban athletes. Like honky, honky, beepy, beepy. Get on a bike and out there.
Someone stole my bike.
You suck.
I'm your trapped bike stealer.
Gold frame pedals to match. This beast is thinner than a model and the wheels don't detach. So saddle up, got a seat that's made of leather and velvet. Purple flames painted on the side. I see you in hell, man.
When I drink Bang Energy, I feel like I can see other people's words.
Because you're reading a book.
Oh.
Hi, and welcome back to the Dial Podcast. I am Jake Von During, and I'm here with Lance friggin' Hepler.
Lance.
Oh, wait a minute.
What's up, Lance?
What's up, boys? It's Lance friggin' Hepler.
I love Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I feel like
who
I tried
doesn't?
to get
What-
my kid to watch it, and he was like, eh.
What 50-year-old doesn't like Seinfeld? Wait, you're only 40.
60. I'm 60, Lance.
Okay.
I'm a 60-year-old man trapped in a 40-something-year-old body.
It was part of our
Upbringing.
lives for so
was.
long. Yeah. Not anymore.
To Lance's left, Matt LeGrand.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? You guys are looking freaking fantastic.
Freaking fantastic.
Fantastic.
Fantastic's good. I'll take fantastic.
Yep.
What's the opposite of fantastic?
Kramer.
Oh, all right. Sweet. Boys,
All right.
podcast 290.
Whoa. Okay, we got to start thinking about podcast 300. What we gonna do? What
10
we
weeks.
gonna do?
10 weeks from now.
10 weeks.
10 weeks from now, we're gonna do something big. Don't know what it is, but be prepared. Get yourself prepared. 10 weeks from now.
70 days
see.
ish. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we need to do something live. We'll have to talk
Yeah.
about that. Stay tuned.
I like it.
All right. Topic for this week. Sepp Kuss.
Sepp Kuss.
Sepp, I'd say freaking Kuss, but he's better than that.
GC Sepp Kuss. Go freaking Sepp Kuss.
American
Sepp Kuss.
Durango boy Sepp Kuss is currently leading La Vuelta España.
It's nighttime there, and he's sleeping in his red pajamas, red, and he's wearing the red jersey as he sleeps.
Yeah, as he should.
Absolutely. He's got red underwear on, no doubt.
Yep. As we record this, it's a Thursday. They just finished stage 12 today, if my memory serves me correct.
Stage 12.
He is still in the lead. He's our GC leader. He is up on second place, who is
Mark Soler, 26 seconds.
And then Remco Evenepoel is in third place at a minute and
minute 9 seconds.
Okay.
Primos is at a minute 32. And Vingegaard down in seventh at 2:22.
this is looking really good
Yeah.
for Team Jumbo Visma.
Yeah.
Or Jumbo Visma.
Jumbo Visma
Jumbo.
looks so dominant. It's almost like ugly that they're so dominant. Like they're just like, which one? Who wants to win this one? I feel like it's like they could just raise their hand.
Dude, that's Team Rope-a-Dope over there. They can do that. They've got that much horsepower. It's like you don't know who's going to go, and they could send anybody. And if that person makes it stick, then that's their boy until he's not. And just throw somebody else at you at that point in time.
Well, the reason that Sepp is in the lead at the moment is because stage 6, there was a huge breakaway, a 40-person breakaway, and Sepp got in the breakaway with 3 other Jumbo teammates. And because most of the other teams were watching Roglic and Vingegaard, they let that go. And it got, I don't know, it got 5 or 6 minutes up the road. And Sepp, as we recall, ended up winning that stage. He was able to attack from the breakaway and ended up winning that stage and won by like over the GC favorites by like 2.5 minutes.
More importantly, that was the stage where he turned the champagne bottle up and chugged for like 5 minutes.
He went to town on that thing.
It was like 12 seconds.
I'm like,
12 full seconds just chugging.
And the announcers are like, you got to get on the bike tomorrow, man. Hold up.
Lance has never done this before, obviously. But Matt, have you ever chugged from a champagne bottle before?
I don't know about probably. I mean, I've got a problem. Let's call it a spade here.
Easy. And I remember the first time I did this.
Bubbles.
I was young. I'm not going to mention how old I was, but I was young. And I remember going bottoms up thinking I was going to be funny. And I was going to try and drink it. And I took a drink of it, and it was so bubbly, it shot out my nose.
Yeah.
Like full on like dragon smoke style came out my nose, and that burned so bad. And the bottle comes out of your mouth, and then all of a sudden it's shooting out of the top, and you're spraying it out of your mouth. It was just a big giant mess.
This is when you were young, and Sepp Kuss is kind of a pro. He's kind of a pro.
He's pro at that too, yeah.
Did you see Filippo Ganna try to do the same thing yesterday? Because Filippo Ganna won the time trial, and he tried to do the same thing, and it just sprayed
everywhere.
These guys don't drink. Let's be honest. They should. I mean, they are so hardcore cyclists that they can't be drinking very much.
They can't drink that much.
No.
Yeah.
He went to town on that, Lance.
That was the most impressive
he felt
thing.
That was like, how many flutes of champagne do you think that was, Matt?
3.
4. If you drank that right now, would you feel that?
Oh, yeah.
100%. If you drink it that fast, that's going to hit you pretty good.
It does. It takes actually. So I have like the Richmond school record for the beer mile. Like I used to be able to drink heavily and run hard. What's interesting is when you drink that fast, it doesn't hit you for about 5 minutes or so. You have like this buffer zone where you're like, don't feel anything. And then bam, it hits you. And you're like, oh yeah. Okay.
So you would go do the mile and you're like, I got to get done in this amount of time before this hits. But then your stomach's full of beer too.
That's the thing. So the beer mile is not necessarily about, it's about how fast you can drink for one. And it's about how fast you can do that last lap while having a massive stomach full of bubbly, sloshy stuff. And so the first,
are people puking?
Everyone, if you puke, you have an extra lap.
Oh, you can't
punishment
puke during
if you puke, you get an extra lap.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so I like chugged a beer and ran a lap and that was all done in like 67 seconds for like the first lap. So you got to figure like a 7-second. I could really chug beer too. Like I could keep up with Jake on champagne chugging potentially. Maybe Sepp Kuss, but let's not go that far.
Let's not go that far. But, he's a pro.
But yeah, so you do that, and then I could also run a 60-second lap. And my buddies and I were like we spiked it up. We took it super seriously. But the last lap, you're just jogging, just holding your stomach, trying not to throw up. Beer talk. Rock talk. You got rock talk, you got beer talk.
This has been Beer Talk.
But yes, the most important part of the story is Sepp Kuss can chug champagne with the best of them. And he can ride a bike.
He can ride a bike. I freaking love it.
So he's in GC, and he was up, 2 minutes and change, like 2.5 minutes or something like that at that point in time. And like Remco Evenepoel didn't really I think he took exception to that a little bit and kind of got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and kind of came out and said, yeah, I'm not worried about that guy. I'm still worried about Roglic and Vingegaard. I'm not worried about that guy. And almost alluded to the fact that he was going to crush him on the time trial, obliterate him. And it would be his tour at that point in time.
Right.
What happened at the time trial?
He only put like a minute and a half into him, or like a minute 20 into him.
Yep. And for those that don't really follow Sepp Kuss, he's a climber. He's a domestique, a super domestique, if you will. And when it comes to time trial days, that's the equivalent of a rest day for him because he just cruises.
He cruises.
Yeah.
You stay within the time cutoff and that's it.
Yep. Time trialing is not his jam, although he's a professional cyclist and he can get after it. So being in red, he's like, well, let's see what we can do to defend this thing.
Going for it. Yep.
He did well.
I
mean, he didn't absolutely crush, but to finish in 13th place and not let Remco run his mouth and back it up with his legs, fantastic.
I don't think Remco's statement was that out of line because
what did he say exactly? It was something like...
We should look up exactly what he said. But the truth is, Sepp Kuss is probably, of the 3 Jumbo Visma athletes that could potentially get red, Sepp Kuss is probably sitting at third, right?
He's
like
third on that depth chart, but he's fully capable.
I will say Jonas to me doesn't quite look like he has the same pop that he had at the Tour. But he's coming back from the Tour. So
the quote was, "I consider him an outsider."
That's fair.
That's what Remco said about Sepp Kuss. I
think that's
consider
fair.
him an outsider.
Again, it's all about like the tone, and we're reading this stuff, and so
he's
it's
not
like
a part of the Big Six, boys. He's not part of the Big Six.
He's
Breaking news.
He can't. He opens his mouth a little too much. He is saying the things like, if I was on the Tour, just saying crap you shouldn't be saying and pissing people off.
Kind of fun.
And just upsetting people. Yeah.
That's fun. He's young.
Yeah.
He can time trial. I thought he might win that time trial.
He was close, but Filippo Ganna freaking laid it out, man.
Well, that's his jam.
I think he averaged like 470 watts for 27 minutes.
That is ridiculous.
That's freaking awesome. It's so incredible.
It is. It really is.
So incredible.
At the same time, it's like, what?
So looking ahead at some of the stages, where are we? Are we at, what stage number? Are we on 12?
We finished 12 today.
It's more of a sprinter stage.
Tomorrow's 13, and we get into some climbing.
The Tourmalet is tomorrow.
Oh, that's cool.
So big climbs, like 3 major climbs tomorrow.
Okay.
So stuff could go down. What's interesting about this is Sepp has never been the protected guy, right? He's always been the
protector.
Protector. He is the one setting the pace. He is the one drilling it on the last climb to set the pace for Primoz or for Vingegaard. And it'll be interesting to see what they do. Does Primoz sit in front of Sepp tomorrow, or does Vingegaard stay in front of Sepp tomorrow for that Tourmalet climb?
If I was your Jumbo's lead, if I was like calling the shots, I would put Vingegaard up front and be like, support.
Drill it. Yeah.
Because I still don't think that Vingegaard looks as sharp to me.
Well, he definitely peaked for the Tour.
Right, which is perfect. That's
and then
great.
it was like a late decision to add this.
Throw him in there.
Yes.
How far back is Vingegaard?
He's at 222.
Exactly.
Which is similar to Roglic, right?
Roglic is one.
Okay.
No, Roglic isn't as far.
So-
Let me tell
so
you
I
exactly.
think-
132. He's a minute ahead of.
I just think that Roglic is the potential guy to still win it if they don't give it to Sepp Kuss.
Okay,
But I don't know. I mean, that's still a lot of distance.
Brakes on this thing and just kind of pull all of it back together and kind of look at this from a little bit higher altitude. Jumbo-Visma coming into this thing knew that they've got superstars across the board. Right.
Yep.
They've got a fantastic team from top to bottom, and everybody's got a great role. Any one of those guys, those 3 guys that we've been talking about, could potentially be somebody that they could support here. And the person that you're never going to expect is Sepp Kuss.
Yes.
They had an opportunity to send him up the road. They got him up the road with teammates, and they got this huge gap.
Yep.
They had to kind of know in the back of their head, like, hey, okay, here's an opportunity. And then now they've got, like, just let's go back to when we had Roglic and Vingegaard that were playing cat and mouse with Pogačar in the Tour.
Right.
That's 2 solid guys right there playing rope-a-dope with what could be the best cyclist in the world, and it worked.
Yeah.
And I got 3.
Now they have 3
Against Evenepoel, who is by no means at all a Pogačar.
True.
Right? So they've got this set up, and Roglic...
If Sepp attacks, they can't ignore it.
Exactly. And so you've got a guy that's won back-to-back tours. You've got another World Tour winner in Roglic, who's a superstar, who this was kind of what everybody was thinking that they were going to put their sights on for him because he didn't go to the Tour. So, like, well, naturally, what are you going to do? You're going to send him to the Vuelta. He's going
to beat Evenepoel at the Giro.
Yeah. So
Roglic
and then Sepp Kuss was kind of a late ad at the same time because, like, he just had a big tour as well. He was kind of fatigued, and then he's like, I'm going to go. Maybe he knew his form. Maybe the team knew his numbers, and maybe they deep down like, hey, there's a lot more to what's going on with Sepp Kuss here. We've already had these other 2 guys win Grand Tours. Can we make this guy win? And knowing that we have these other 2 guys to step in if anything should go wrong or falter. And so far, what if everything is going to plan? And this has kind of been...
I think I
don't think that was plan A on their depth chart, but it's there. I think you have to acknowledge the fact that there was the option that could potentially happen.
I disagree with that.
I think that this is all just like, whoops, let's just see how far this goes. I mean, that's just my theory.
Okay, but now you've got him at 1:09 above Evenepoel. Who's in second place right now?
Marc Soler.
Marc Soler. again, he's someone to contend with, that you got to keep an eye on as well because he could sneak in there. But you've got Jumbo Visma now with the weapons to support this guy. And
that's the thing is I think that they will continue to try to support him until it looks questionable. And then I think that they're going to have to come up with a slightly different strategy. I think it's almost a shame that we're recording this podcast today because I do think tomorrow's going to be so telling.
It will tell what happens.
And they could do a couple things, right? So one of the things when you have 3 athletes that are so dominant, you can send one up the road.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because there's probably going to be a breakaway. And if one of these guys gets, one of those 3 getting the breakaway, who knows, right? Like you can do a lot of things. You can have them wait for
or even
your GCs to come back.
Or even on the final climb. Oh, Vingegaard is attacking. Well, I kind of need to stay here with Sepp and Roglic.
Yeah,
because
what do you do in that
Vingegaard's
situation?
222 down, but it's Vingegaard.
And he could put 2 minutes into
what if we do here?
How long is that climb? That climb is only like 10K. It's not the longest climb of all times.
I don't know.
There's a lot of climbing tomorrow, though.
Yeah. There's three mountaintop finish or whatever, 3 mountains or stage, whatever classification climbs they are, right? It's massive. But it's still, I just think maybe a breakaway gets away with someone like Vingegaard, and it's like, well, he could probably, if he's in a breakaway and he's going to climb by himself, he could probably put 2 minutes into the entire group. I don't know. It could be very interesting to watch tomorrow.
So
if I was Jumbo, I'd send someone up.
I disagree with you, Jake. I think that they talked to Sepp after the tour and said, do you want to go again?
Yep.
And he's like, oh, yeah, I guess I can go. I don't feel too terrible. Right. I didn't lay myself. I guess I'll go again. I think him getting in the break with 4 teammates was also fluke. I mean, did they want something like that to happen? Yeah, absolutely. But were they expecting Sepp to get the red jersey? I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I think it was, oh my gosh, Sepp, you've got a shot. Go for it.
Right.
But we know, Sepp, you can't really time trial, or this is what I think they're thinking. He can't really time trial, so he's probably not going to keep it. It's just another weapon for us to rope-a-dope these other teams.
And you wouldn't want to take the red at like stage, was it 8 or 9 or something? What was it? I don't remember.
6.
So you just wouldn't want to take it that early if your plan was to hold on to it all the entire time.
Right.
Like they would. This is probably more like towards 13, where they'd be like, "Yeah, let's try and get this."
Yeah.
This.
Okay, we're going
jersey.
into stage 13 tomorrow. Okay. There's 21 total stages.
Mm-hmm.
What other stage out there is a stage where Remco could do serious damage? And let's be honest, he does not have the firepower of Jumbo-Visma. He does not have the team behind him to set things up to do the kind of damage that Jumbo-Visma could do to him.
He doesn't have the team.
Where is he going to close that gap? I mean, it would really take the wheels falling off the Sepp wagon.
Several mountain stages still to come.
Yes,
but
several. He is not the same climber as Sepp Kuss.
No.
If here's what I think. I think if you get into a stage like tomorrow, where there's a lot of climbing, and Remco's like itching to just hammer it, and he's putting distance on Sepp Kuss, then you see Jumbo-Visma change strategies during the race. Change strategies during the race. Sorry, Sepp, but we're going to go reel in Remco. That's my theory. If they don't have some other fun stuff
I think they're going to try and bring Jonas back into this unless he's really that fatigued. I think that it makes more sense to bring him in now and to have Remco try and mark that. And if he doesn't mark that because he's too far behind him and he doesn't have faith in the fact that he could potentially be a GC contender in this particular race, then they're going to let him go. If they send Roglic, for sure, without a doubt, Remco's chasing him, and then Evenepoel's going to sit on his wheel, and it's just going to be a big GC battle to the end, and they're all probably going to come in within just seconds of each other. Nothing changes.
Maybe
if you send Jonas, that's your best chance
of
to
where like a maybe
exactly to either put another guy in contention or have Remco chase him down and burn some matches, and then counterpunch him. Not necessarily tomorrow, but the following day, and like really start to fatigue him.
Yeah. I would say the only way you do well when you're going up against a team of three titans of the sport is you have to be the smartest racer of all time and really handle those matches carefully. I don't think Remco's that's not that guy.
Is intelligence a factor or a qualifying factor for the Big Six?
Intelligence is a huge factor.
Not according to Remco, it's not. I will say, Vingegaard in his interview today was like, I would like nothing more than to see Sepp win this race. I would love it.
Yeah.
But this race is not over.
Yeah.
and you can't count me out either.
How,
I'm paraphrasing, obviously.
How much do those guys love Sepp Kuss? He
They have
is
to.
always there for them.
Yes.
He is always pouring himself inside out, doing exactly what he's told, and then some. They would absolutely love to see him win this.
It makes you wonder, okay, are they motivated by like their own bonus schedule? If I'm going to win this race, what does it do for my legacy and my bonus schedule? Or, oh my gosh, would I love to give back to my teammate who has done so much for me? I mean, you wonder
There's a
what's
brotherhood
really
there
motivating.
that you can definitely see.
Yeah.
And those are good sportsmen. They are good people.
They seem like it.
They really like each other. And I think that they want to win this for him. I think that they've got so many options here. And that's going to be the fun part of watching the rest of this tour.
I think Sepp is going to have to crack to have Jumbo-Visma's team change strategy, which could very well happen.
It's a possibility.
Yep. It's going to be fun to watch.
It should be fun to watch.
Who cracks first, though, Sepp or Remco?
I think that, I mean, here's the thing. Like, we're talking about these are the places where things can change are all climbing stages. That's Sepp's wheelhouse, man. That is his game. I don't think he's likely to crack on those things. Yeah. He may not be the best athlete on one of those days, but he's not likely to crack so much. I don't think Jumbo, I mean, unless Jumbo messes up nutrition or something along those lines, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah. So again, it's 8 stages left, Lance?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Of the 8 stages, how many of those are climbing stages?
I don't know. Their website sucks, I got to tell you. The next 2 days are mountain stages.
I just gotcha.
And then there's a hilly stage, and I think it goes from
where
there.
a breakaway will do something.
Yeah.
And I mean, they'll have one more, like at least 1 or 2 more climbing stages before the final cruise. And
What's the likelihood of this race being over after these next 2 stages?
It could happen. It could happen.
Yeah.
If Sepp is protected and then is able to go at the, on one of these climbs and the other guys help him out and let him go, come on. That'd be freaking awesome. But my guess is that unless they really gang up on Remco, that Remco won't let Sepp get away. So if it doesn't let Sepp get away, and does somebody else get away? Does Vingegaard get away? Oh my gosh. There's like so many. It's like so much drama.
And what's Soler doing right now?
Potential drama. So it's
what's
at me. Why don't you guys look at me?
No, I think it's actually better. I wouldn't say don't look at me at all. I'm not here. Don't pay attention to me.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
They're like, everybody's just discounting Soler, and he's still ahead of Remco.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty... It's exciting. It's like exciting racing.
Yeah, this is
it's
a
more
good race.
exciting than you after this freaking terrible start that they had. Like,
that's right.
5 stages of which were just a disaster.
Yeah.
Now it's like super exciting. It's like really good. So
who's had the roughest start to the Vuelta?
Geraint.
Who?
Geraint Thomas.
Thank you.
Geraint Thomas is not. I think he's in like 20th or something.
Man, poor guy.
Now, he had a decent day yesterday. I think he got, collected a little bit of time back. But where is he sitting at overall GC right now?
He, let me look it up. He is not really that close into it.
Stage 13, stage 14, stage 15, all mountain stages.
Oh, wow. Okay. So 3 stages in a row. This is where this tour is going to be decided, if you ask me.
I agree with that. I think that's fair.
I think it would be fun to see it get closer and get everybody even more mixed up in this. I mean, if you get the likes of a Vingegaard that can, punch out maybe a minute and a half, if Roglic can chisel away a little bit of time, and if Sepp can keep his lead, but if it gets tighter and Remco actually puts in a little bit of time on him, and all of a sudden you've got this logjam of like Jumbo-Visma versus Sepp Kuss and Marc Soler, that could be a lot of fun to watch.
It could be fun. Sir Thomas is in 18th in GC right now. He is 734 back.
How far away from the top 10 is he? Where's 10th place at?
10th is at 3:14, so he's 4 minutes behind 10th.
Yeah.
He in the time trial, he actually flatted. No, he didn't flat. He got chain suck and had to swap bikes. Ooh. Yeah. So he was kind of going for it as kind of hard as he could.
Yeah.
And like halfway through, his chain got stuck between his 11 cog and the frame, and he couldn't get it out, so he had to swap bikes. And after he swapped bikes, he's like, all right, I'm just gonna steady ride it in. He didn't like drill it to go in because he hasn't had a very good start anyway. So
how about our boy, or actually Matt's boy, Egon Bernal?
Egon Bernal, how's he doing? He's
Egon Bernal.
He's like in that specific spot. He's ready to pounce. Ready to pounce. No one's expecting him.
He's 47 minutes back. He's 47. in 50th. Okay. So he
look for big things tomorrow.
Working for G.
He's working for G.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I would say that the end of the race, the last couple of stages, I'm just looking at this stuff, and it doesn't look like there's as much of like a massive climbing section at the end towards like stage 19, 20, 21. But there's some interesting stages like 16, 17, 18, somewhere in there, where there's one with like a really sharp uphill finish, but mostly flat for the day. So something fun will happen there. Yep. And then there's 2 mountain stages after that.
That actually probably bodes best for Evanpol, that finish right there.
Yeah.
He can climb. He's powerful, but he's just not that long, sustained, like pure climber guy. I bet he can hold his own. That's just my 2 cents. He can hold his own on long climbs. Yeah. I don't see him being quite as powerful as a Sepp Kuss in a long, hilly, hard day.
Yeah.
But those shorter, punchier, not rollier because it's not that short, but I think that he's going to have the watts per kilogram advantage in that particular scenario.
And then stage 17, 18 are more mountain stages. So it's kind of like we have a section of mountain stages starting tomorrow, and then we have a little breather, and then another section of mountain stages, and then I think after that it'll be decided.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be decided in the next couple of days. I think it's going to be that stage 18-ish kind of time frame.
13, 14, and 15 are climbing days.
13, 14.
13, 14, you're right.
13, 14?
Not 15.
The 15 is just hilly, not mountain.
hilly.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was wrong about that. I said something wrong earlier.
Well, I am going to call my shot. I am going to say that Vingegaard is going to go hard tomorrow. I am going to say that Remco is going to kind of let him go. He's going to get up the road. He's going to put some time back into GC. I'm going to say that Sepp Kuss is going to probably end up marking Evanpol or the other way around. It's probably more of like Sepp Kuss just trying to react to Evanpol.
Yeah.
And he's going to keep it really tight. And he might lose a second or two, but I think he's going to keep it. And I think that Vingegaard is going to make things more interesting. The following day, I think that they're going to either launch Vingegaard again, or it's going to be a Roglic show, and Roglic is going to try and go, and then that's where Evanpol is going to say, "Hey, I got to go. I got to match this because that's who I think my competitor is." And I believe that Evanpol is going to go, and I believe that Sepp Kuss is going to pip him at the end, and he's probably going to put some more time into him, and that's going to be your the Vuelta right there.
Yeah.
That's going to be my shot that I'm going to call. What do you say, Lance?
Next 2 days are going to say a whole lot. So.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to see if Jumbo's team strategy changes in the next two days.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting. I would love them to just go all in for Sepp.
I think they will until they can't.
Go all in for Sepp.
I think they will until they can't.
Right.
I mean, think it's just...
It might be like half through the stage, Sepp might be like, hey, I don't have it today.
Yeah.
So, hey, Vingegaard, drill it. Go for it. Let's play this a little bit because I just don't have it today. And if he's like, no, I've always been on the front. I'm sitting on wheels now for the rest of this race? Okay, I can do that. I would just love Sepp to be able to say, yeah, I can sit on wheels as good as you guys can and attack at the end. So come on, Sepp.
Hang in there, buddy.
Hang in there. Do it.
Matt Legrand.
Yeah.
Call your shot.
So wait, I think our call your shot should be is Sepp going to stay in red the entire way?
I'm going to say yes.
You say yes.
But how's it going to happen?
Okay. I say yes.
You say yes. Then I'm going to say no. But
That's wearing red, by the way, too.
I'm wearing red.
Matt's going to say.
So whatever I say goes double.
That's right.
So the team, Jumbo-Visma's team's all in on Sepp. They're all in on Sepp, and he's going to show some signs of cracking, not tomorrow, but the day after. That's when he's going to show little signs of cracking. I do think Jumbo will be smart, and they'll send someone up the road, probably Vingegaard, and that would potentially be a situation where Vingegaard goes up the road, and he waits for Sepp Kuss. They pull him in, and he looks fine for the first time, and then he looks like he maybe struggles a little bit tomorrow, and then all of a sudden you're going to see we switch to some flat stages, so we don't really notice it. But Jumbo's strategy changes, and then we get to stage 16, which has a little spiky finish, and then 17, I could be getting these numbers wrong. 17, you're in the mountains, and we see who the real leader of Jumbo-Visma's team is.
Yeah.
Primoz Roglic wins red.
All right.
Did you see Primoz Roglic today at the intermediate sprint? He went for it.
Yeah.
And got second in the intermediate sprint. And he went because
Is he having fun?
No, there was bonus seconds.
Oh, yeah.
There was 10 for first and 4 for second and
Yeah.
1 for third or something like that. And Remco was also trying to go for those bonus seconds, and Primoz outdid him so that Remco didn't get any bonus seconds.
Yes.
Nice.
Have you noticed that Remco's kind of got his number? Or not his number, but Roglic has got Remco's number?
Yeah, he outsprinted him on the other day.
Yeah.
For the stage win.
Yeah.
And then Remco said, I didn't know we were sprinting for the win.
I did say Roglic, right? I didn't.
You said Roglic.
Okay, good.
I think you said Remco.
I did not say. I do not think Remco's going to win this thing. Yeah.
But yeah, Roglic outsprinted Remco for the stage win, and then Remco said, I thought there was still somebody else up the road and we weren't sprinting for the win, so I didn't really go for it. Again, he opens his mouth kind of like I would and says something stupid.
Big six.
Big six. Big six.
I think if Sepp wins, he gets to come out and say, you're out of Big Six.
I'm Big Six.
I'm Big Six now.
I'm Big Six now. You're out.
Yeah. You
That'd
could
be
be
hilarious.
like, you can be number 7 alone. Like you can be on 7 Island over here. We're Big Six now.
Big Six.
I'm going to wear an honorary Band-Aid over my left eyebrow in honor of Sepp Kuss until he's out of red.
He can hold it for a little while longer. He's getting into some climbing stuff. Come on, Sepp. We all want Sepp Kuss to win it all. We do.
fun.
Obviously. American, come on.
Yeah, it's fun seeing social media right now too. I mean, USA Cycling's posting stuff about him. A lot of like your cycling aficionados or can Sepp do this? Let's support Sepp. Go Sepp. It's fun. It's a thing right now.
There was a Twitter account that got started called GC Sepp Kuss.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So they're posting all this stuff about him trying to win the GC. It's kind of fun. And Sepp even followed the actual account.
Oh, nice.
He seems like he's enjoying it and
Yes!
he's having fun with all of it. He's doing all the right things, chugging champagne. Come on, man. There's nothing to not like about this guy.
I love it.
Anything else you guys want to talk about with respect to La Vuelta?
Nope.
Nothing
Nope.
timely,
That's
nothing
good.
crazy going on there. Do you guys want to talk real quick about what just happened with Wahoo and Zwift? Does that matter?
Yeah, I would like to hear about it because I don't know a ton about it, and it's interesting for sure from a sports technology standpoint.
They used to be the best of friends because, Zwift had this great platform and they needed people riding trainers, and they didn't have trainers. They just had this great platform. And Wahoo's like, well, you got this great platform. We got these trainers and people can plug into it, and let's be friends, So they went and did a lot of business together. And all of a sudden Zwift becomes this like 1,000-pound gorilla in the middle of the room that kind of is dominating everything indoor cycling.
Yeah.
Wahoo grew to massive sizes with their Wahoo Kicker and later iterations of the Kicker and other products that they launched, and everything was all fine and hunky-dory. And then all of a sudden Zwift's like, they're making a lot of money. We're pretty big. We got some money. Maybe we want to make our own trainers. And there was talk of them making a Zwift bike, and then that got canned or shelved or went away. And then they said, well, we want to sell trainers too, because we can sell them to our people, our customers, and we can make some extra money and make our shareholders happy. They went out and bought another company. It was Black something or other.
I don't think they bought them.
Or licensed something from them.
Licensed their
Maybe
training,
whatever it was.
their trainer, and then they rebranded it.
Yeah. So, and then they're like, we're going to start selling this, and we're going to put this in our store, and you can go in there and you can buy all kinds of Zwift swag. You can buy, all kinds of other little tchotchkes and whatnot. But also you can go in there and buy things like Wahoo trainers. And then, all right, we'll just put this next to the Wahoo trainer. It's very much akin to the Wahoo Core, which at the time was retailing for $900. They are like, ours is pretty much the same thing. It's pretty damn close, but we're going to sell it for $600, and we're going to basically undercut them dramatically.
500.
Was it $500? It was even less.
So.
All right,
I don't know.
But you're probably right. You did a review on the thing, right?
Yeah, it's cheap.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk
Affordable.
about that in just
It's
a
affordable,
second.
I should
So, Zwift is selling trainers that are very, very similar to the Kicker Core. For all intents and purposes, the Core is a much more solid unit. It's battle tested. It's been around since 2018 or something like that. It's been a minute that they've had that around, and it's just, it works really well for everybody, and it's not nearly as expensive as their flagship model, the Kicker. then Wahoo kind of gets word of this. They start looking at the trainer like, hey, wait a second. There's technologies in this that are kind of infringing on what we think is falls under our patent. And they kind of got into fisticuffs over this.
So the trainer that Zwift licensed and rebranded it's called the Jet Black Volt. And that was really sold in Europe for the most part. And I guess the patents that Wahoo has are not applicable to Europe. I don't know exactly how that works. That'd be a good question for someone that has more info on this. But as soon as Zwift was selling the Zwift Hub for $4.99 in the US and worldwide, immediately that flagged Wahoo, and they're like, "Yep, this goes to court." You know, blah,
it
blah,
was
blah,
a
blah, blah.
patent infringement thing,
And so that's the lawsuit that happened and settled.
Well, it recently settled, but in that process, they really got pissed at each other.
Right. Well,
Wahoo then went out and bought RGT and really started to make it a thing, and they wanted to go up toe-to-toe with Zwift in terms of the trainer platform that people can plug into and do riding and be social and do all the other fun things. And then Zwift's like, well, we're not going to sell your trainers anymore. So they basically had a bunch of inventory that they fire saled for stupid cheap. And that made all of the Wahoo dealers upset, and they got rid of all their stuff. And then,
so you could get a hub, a Wahoo. Sorry, not a hub. You could get a Wahoo Kicker Core through the Zwift site for similar
super
price?
cheap. I can't remember the exact amount, but
you don't want to undercut your own product.
Yeah, the retail was $900 on the Kicker Core, and I think they were selling them for pretty stinking close to what. Yeah, exactly, just to get rid of the inventory. I don't know if they're making money, losing money. I don't know what their arrangement was with
money,
but they just wanted to get it out of their store. They didn't want to be selling the competitor's product. And then they went into court, and it was ugly for a while. And it was pretty contentious, and there was all kinds of things going on and injunctions trying to be put into place. And long story short, they got to this past week, and they kissed and made up. They sorted out all of their industry.
We knew the details of like the settlement.
Yeah.
You don't usually get to see any of that stuff.
They did release some of the information. I don't know if they talked exactly about what the payout was, but there is a licensing agreement in place.
Okay.
So
Zwift is paying for some sort of licensing every time they sell one of their Zwift hubs.
Correct.
Which stinks for them because they're basically selling those things dirt cheap because they just want people to use their game.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. But you got to imagine they're making some money on that too. I mean, why would they go through all of that hassle to not make a few bucks on it?
Because they want people on trainers.
They're going to be on their trainers regardless.
Not if they can't afford a trainer. If you can't afford a trainer, you're not on Zwift. All they want is people on Zwift, the game.
Well, then why did they go and acquire that? Why didn't they just say, hey, well,
because there was no
Jet Black or whatever your guys called, let's put your stuff in there that's less expensive.
Because there was
our name on it.
The Jet Black was $1,000. Zwift wants. I'm trying to think of a good person. They want my wife, for example, on Zwift
instead of Peloton.
And she's not going to spend $1,000 on a trainer. But $500, $499. Okay, I could do that, and then let's go for Zwift since I'm already buying in on the Zwift name.
Things like the Kicker Snap, and there's other things out there that you can use. They're not good.
Right. How much is the Snap right now?
Cheap, I don't know, $400,
$400, something like that. Yeah.
But there's other things that you can use. You don't have to have a smart trainer. You can just use a cadence sensor is the basic minimum, and you can get one of those for $40 or something like that. Put it on your bike, ride on a dumb trainer, fluid trainer, and you're in the game. You're doing your thing.
That's true.
It's loud, it's obnoxious, it's hard on your bike. It's it's not accurate and all the other things, but you're in the game. I can't imagine that they would do something to that degree to try and get that particular unit into their store, to get them sold, to get people riding on their platform without them making a few bucks on it. There has to be some margin in there.
There's probably, I bet you it's tiny.
It's not huge, but I bet you it's there. And I bet you it could be significant enough. I mean, if you sell, 10,000 of those trainers, I don't know if they're selling that many, but they're probably making a few bucks on that. And it's money that's come back into their platform.
I bet you profits, if I'm just going to throw out random numbers, I bet you profits on like the Wahoo Kicker Core is probably something like $400 of profit each time they sell one, $300, $400. And I bet you the Zwift Hub is like 100 or less or something. I bet you it's pretty tight. When you think about potential returns, you've got all kinds of other things. Like you've got all the marketing stuff to pay for, just lots of things that add up. I just bet you the margins are tight on that one.
They've already got a marketing budget. And if they're just going to piggyback that on what they're already spending, I can't imagine that it's going to be terribly expensive. But that's just my thought process on that.
Depends on what they got from Jet Black for their.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a curious question. So
you should borrow my Zwift Hub and try it and see what you think, just out of an odd curiosity.
That's funny. You think I still ride bikes, don't you?
Biking is for suckers.
No, dude. Like Lance knows, I took up a new sport, dude.
Yeah.
He's a dog walker.
A competitive dog walker. Yeah.
Viciously competitive. Watch your back if you're out walking.
Me,
your
Lola,
dog.
and Zeke, man, we're on a training program. We're kicking.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good times.
There's also a licensing agreement now. So Zwift is paying Wahoo for a licensing fee.
Yep.
So not just the selling of the kickers, but
so
they're
if their
paying
margins are
licensing
tight, now they're like, oh crap, our margins
got a
are
little
even
bit tighter. Yeah.
tighter.
But they're only selling kickers. They're only selling trainers that are bundled with a Zwift subscription.
Okay.
Is Zwift?
No, I'm under the understanding that even though Wahoo said that they would not be letting Zwift sell their product ever again, I don't know if they should have used those terms because the word never, the never thing has gone away, and they're supposedly going to be bringing all of the Wahoo products back into their store, to the Zwift store, to be sold. And you got to imagine that Wahoo's, going to give them some margin on that as well. And
it should be normal. I mean, I feel like they're
bringing
Zwift
back all
should have to abide by the agreed upon pricing.
Yeah, Zwift is bringing in the kicker core, the kicker bike, and then the other things,
Snap.
the desk, not the snap.
not the Snap.
The snap has been
Well,
discontinued.
they're still selling it though. That's the thing. Like
just inventory that they have.
yeah, maybe that's just a lot of inventory that they really can't get rid of.
Yeah.
Probably not. Yeah.
But Zwift will sell the desk and the climb and the headwind.
And
so
it's all at retail pricing.
I don't know.
Are they? I wonder if they're bundling any of that stuff too, just to try to get people to buy
Get
that.
rid of some of it.
Probably.
For Black Friday, I heard that the kicker snap is actually going to be a negative price. They pay you.
They give you money
They
to
pay you.
take this.
They pay you money to take that. It's like $200 too. It's a pretty good deal.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good deal.
Well, one of the other curious things is that the kicker core again has been around for a minute.
The kicker core, I've still got one. It's a great device.
Great device. I want to say that it came out in 2018, so it's been around. It's on its 5th or 6th season coming out. If I'm
I
not
think
mistaken,
it might be older than that.
it could be 2017, but I think it's. I
old.
want
Okay.
to say 2018. That's
You're
the number that
probably
jumps in my. It's within that time period. They just dropped their price on that.
Oh, really?
They went from $900 to $600, or $899 to $599.
That's a huge drop.
Yeah.
So that's pressure,
Yeah.
right? That's pressure from the Zwift Hub. And I do think that the kicker core is a better product than the Zwift Hub.
Yeah.
Having ridden both of them a good bit.
What would you say the major comparison points are that really set it apart?
It's little things. So if you want to save money, the Zwift Hub is a great option. But you'll notice things like it'll slip more. Your pickups and things like that isn't nearly as smooth.
Power accuracy?
Power accuracy seemed okay. There's also some manufacturing issues. Like I had some rubbing and stuff like that on the initial edition. It didn't end up being a problem, but like if people see that stuff, you're gonna need to return it and go through customer service, which was decent. The customer service side of things. Yeah. So, yeah,
the
kicker core is good. Good
it's
device.
solid. If you want my 2 cents, I think they're going to fade out this whole Zwift trainer
Zwift
thing.
Hub's
I
gonna go
think
away.
that it's going to completely go away because when they stopped, they took a big look at the big picture, kind of came away from the scenario a little bit, probably said, you know what, we were probably making a lot more money when we were selling the Wahoo products than we are selling this discounted product. And, and a lot of people already have trainers, and if you've got other partners that potentially are willing to bring some of the prices down, the core coming down, I really think that was the signal right there that whole Jet Black or whatever that thing's called is going to go away, and that it's going to be a stronger partnership between the two.
Maybe.
But that it's still curious, like, well, what's going to happen with our GT?
That's a really good question. If for some reason Zwift and Wahoo became really tight and they were like, we're going to do away with the Zwift Hub, we want to sell your kicker core and we want to sell it for dirt cheap, then I could see Wahoo being like, okay, let's do this. That would be a good move for Wahoo, I think, because they could probably move a lot of product. And let's be honest, like bike trainers are not selling very well. Wahoo is in a world of hurt, or at least they have been. They seem better now, but they were in a world of hurt a year ago for sure.
Yeah, they had a lot of financial responsibilities to different capital firms that they were, in debt to, that they had to get paid off. And there was even questions at some point in times if they were going to miss some of their payments, and they were getting
I think they missed 2 payments.
Yep, and they got their rating downgraded a few times. I think they were like rated at a D or something like that. gentleman who started Wahoo, the primary, the CEO, whoever it is, pulled together the funding, and he basically brought back everything in-house. They owe nobody money for anything. They've tightened up their game a little bit. They're reconfiguring their marketing and their whole production process of how things are going to be done. And they're doing what seems like a good job. And I think that like little things like was it the Rival, the watch that they were making?
Yes.
That got tabled and probably went away. I have a sneaking suspicion
they were going to do a second watch supposedly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm guessing that someone with a brain was like, no, we're not going here. We need to double down on the things that work.
Yep. And then you've got I think it's, what are those? The roller, what's the roller thing called that they have?
It's called the Wahoo Roller.
Rollers.
Yeah.
Those things are on
roller.
Those things are on fire sale right now because I think
they?
they're probably trying to get rid of those because those things were basically a flop, if you ask me. And that's, just
I agree.
Get rid of all of the crap, fine tune what they
not
have.
A bad product. It's just not one, like the price point was not smart. It was like, here's this really expensive product that is for a very specific use case. Like you're going to a race and you want to bring this big thing. I don't know. It's a weird product.
Yeah. So I think they're trying to get back to the roots. I think that they really want to start innovating again on the things that were home runs for them. So
I double down on bike computers.
Yep. They're doing a fantastic job there. Yep. They're doing a fantastic job in the trainer market. Some of the things that I do see being problematic is still that a lot of these things, there's price point barriers for folks. Like they just can't go spend that kind of money. So to see them bring the kicker core down into a more reasonable stratosphere, I think that that's a good thing. And then they need to ask themselves a very serious question. Is RGT, is that profitable for them? Is that something that they want to push on?
Yeah.
They've done a lot of work on it, though, in the last 6 months. There have been a lot of updates that have come out, and they've refined quite a few things, and it's significantly better than it was. I mean, there was a point in time last year where I almost said, I'm done. I had because we work with Wahoo, and they let me test everything. I get a free account. I was having so many problems with it where I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to Zwift and I'm going to start paying the $15 a month again. Yeah. And just call it what it is. And then all of a sudden some updates happened. Some things came out. They refined a few things. I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. This is a good thing. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to continue using it. There's a new land or two that has come out. There seems like there's a few more people riding in there, but the use is such a small, tiny drop in the bucket compared to Zwift. If you go ride on Zwift on a busy night, there's thousands of people. Yeah. You go ride on RGT on a busy night, there might be 50 or 60 people.
It's also not indoor trainer season, really.
True.
At the moment.
True.
So it kills me that I've been paying for Zwift and I'm just not using it right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've had it off for a full year.
You save money, man.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I think that the RGT stuff is a decent investment. They probably picked it up at a reasonable price. They also bought Sufferfest, which probably costed a little bit more. They have, if you look at the package that they have, it's nice.
It's
a very great package. I mean, it's all put together very well.
There are a lot of people that are using it to its full degree. The Sufferfest, the training platforms, RGT, and just following everything, and they absolutely love it. And there's a lot of cool stuff in there too. I think they've got yoga and Pilates and strength training and flexibility and
cool videos about athletes.
Yeah, so they've got a lot of stuff going on, and it's just, I don't know, for whatever reason, people just love Zwift. And Zwift's great, except for their Magic Rainbow Roads or whatever they call those things. That was
the hill
stupid
thing. Well, I think some people, I don't know. I did a video on that. It was interesting to hear people's comments in the thing. And it was just like, I'm not doing Rainbow Road. This is ridiculous. And then other people were like, better than nothing. And
it's a Mario.
You're
Watch out for that banana.
Yeah. And you get to climb around. Yeah. So I don't know.
I can't remember the name of it. I watched DC Rainmaker's video on it, but there's another training platform that came out. And this one's going to be quite curious. Zwift lost their indoor trainer world championships to this particular platform. Yeah. This particular platform has incredible graphics. It's pretty stinking cool, and they're constantly innovating. And here's the kicker. It's 100% free. And it is bankrolled by the UAE.
What?
Is it really?
Yes. They've got funds galore. I don't quite understand what the angle is at here, but the UAE is throwing all kinds of money at this, and they want it to be big time. And I am curious to see what that's going to do. They already took away a huge thing from Zwift. They're offering what seems like a great program that is going to be free, and they're constantly innovating. And they've copied a lot of stuff from Zwift. There's a lot of things that are very familiar in there. And if they can catch up and if they can grab enough people, there might be a situation where like, all right, well, everything's still going to remain free. But if you want some of the premium features, kind of think Zwift, or not Zwift, but Strava, you can pay, an extra however much money per month and go from there. So I'm curious what the long play is on this and how they think that this is going to work. But
is it called Full Gas? Is that it?
No, it's something else.
My Whoosh.
My Whoosh, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't dove into this to learn about it, but it looks to me like it's got potential. I think having this freemium kind of concept is the way to go if you're going to try to put a dent into Zwift, where you get to play, you get to do all this stuff. If you want numbers there, which you do want for this, because, just like you talked about, you go on Zwift and there's 1,000 people and you go on something else and there's 50. And so you really do, you have to get people there. And therefore, just like any sort of social network, this is kind of a problem with all social networks. Like you have to have the social network side before people want to join. So you have to have the massive amount of people, and free is a great way to do it.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to be willing to invest, and probably invest for a couple of years.
Here's another thing, though. You can use RGT for free.
Right.
You're very limited in terms of the lands that you can go to.
Yeah,
but what's nice, though, is like if you want to, you can still follow programs. You can still do all the things. You're going to be stuck in the same land doing the same thing over and over again. But you can do the workouts. But what's cool is like if you want to join like a group ride on there, you can do that. And then you get to go ride in other places. So if you want to ride by yourself for free, you're going to be stuck in one land, but then you can go join other rides in there and it's still free and you can go do what you want to do, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Now this, My Whoosh, is that what it's called?
Yeah,
My Whoosh.
It's an interesting name.
Yeah.
It's curious. It definitely has like kind of a look and feel of Zwift with a little bit more of an RGT kind of realistic look to it. It's kind of like a blend between the two. So, and they've got a lot of different worlds, and supposedly they're going to continue innovating. I can't remember exactly what DC had to say in terms of what the downside was. I think one of the things, though, was that there's just not a lot of people. A lot of people come, they try it, they just don't come back because they want to go where the people are at.
Right.
So how do you get people to come over? Well, you start hosting world championship races.
That's true.
You start throwing other things at it. And, the UAE, they got a lot of money, guys.
Yep.
They do.
A lot.
Yeah. They can spend that money on indoor bike stuff. That's good. That's better than spending on some other things.
And just need to slap Pogacar's face on there and have him come do a few guest rides. And the next thing you know, you've got a bunch of folks say, hey, this is actually kind of a neat little platform. Mm-hmm. What happens to Zwift if they catch on? And what if they start getting some numbers coming over there and testing the waters and people saying, you know what, I don't want to spend, $150, $200 a year on Zwift. I want to go ride on this thing for free.
Well, I mean, I think if you're Zwift, you got to be somewhat patient. Like this company does have to make money at some point. Like whether they're bankrolled by whoever, eventually you got to make money if you're a company.
The
Which
UAE
they could do the freemium model.
Wipes their backside with the amount of money it costs to run this platform. So it's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who at the UAE is really bankrolling this, and eventually things have to make money. Eventually companies have to make money.
Of all these platforms, who's the Remco Evenepoel?
The Remco Evenepoel.
Who's the Sepp?
My Whoosh
Sepp
is
Kuss.
definitely Remco.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Who's the Sepp Kuss? Probably RGT.
Probably
Yeah.
RGT.
I don't know.
All right. Interesting. Cool. This has been Trainer Wars.
Trainer Wars.
I don't know, I just think it's an interesting little story, little saga. It's kind of like a nice little segue into the fall. It's the fall time. It's unfortunately trainer season for you Yahoos that still ride bikes
We're
out
going to
there.
have to get on trainers.
I rode on Zwift this morning.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's good. I should have done that.
All right. That's enough of that. Anything else that you guys want to inject on that? We good?
Go
We're
Sepp.
good.
Go
Okay.
Sepp.
Go Sepp.
Champ here. I'm all about having time.
Kind of already talked about the important stuff.
Champ Bailey here.
What do you want to talk about, Champ?
The only other thing I would talk about is, there's the two other races going on. The Tour of Britain
We also
has
have
started.
local stuff.
Yeah. The Tour of Britain has started, and Jumbo-Visma has been dominating that. It's been kind of weird. They didn't get their road clearance till very late, and so there's not a lot of climbing in the first 4 days. And the Jumbo-Visma rider, what's his name, Oluv or something?
Big time sprinter, yeah.
He's won all 4 stages.
Yeah.
All with Wout leading him out.
Yeah, Wout's already called this guy like the next best sprinter.
The next best sprinter.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty. It's been Jumbo is just like rocking all of it. So it's pretty exciting. In the gravel world, I went to Rebecca's Private Idaho.
RPI?
Yep. And that was just a fantastic race. The weather was actually really great. We had no smoke.
Yeah, you were worried about that.
I was worried about smoke. I even told my wife as we were driving down, I'm like, if the AQI's bad, I'm turning around and we're going back.
I thought about you one day. I can't remember what day
There was a morning there was
like next
smoky there.
Thursday. It was smoky, and I went to take the dogs out because I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, that's what professional dog walkers do. Went to take them out to use the bathroom, and it's freaking raining, and it smells like smoke. I'm like, what is going on here? This
It's
is
raining
and smoky.
and the AQI was still bad.
It was like
here.
120
so
or something, like
weird.
that, 130. Yeah,
Oh, that is weird.
It was
Yeah.
very weird.
Yeah.
like what's going on? Where did this come from? Canadian wildfires, I guess.
It
Coming down
was.
this way?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you dealt with none of that.
We got none of it.
Okay, so we pulled all of the rain away, all of the
Yes.
smoke away, so Lance could go have a great RPI. You better have won, you MFer.
I did not win. But the stage race was won by Griffin Easter, 3-day stage race. And who was second? Michael Vandenham, who won the Oregon Trail Gravel Grinder. He was second.
Wow.
He is a professional cyclocross racer. And third was Alex House. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so Alex House showed up and threw down. Kind of exciting. Stage 1 was like a 35-mile race, and they had a 3-man sprint for the finish.
Really?
And Alex House, it was on gravel. He attacked like with, I don't know, 400 meters to go and double unclipped and surfed his top tube for like 30
Okay.
meters.
Surfed his top tube. Do you want to describe how that feels?
So it does not feel good. It's all up in your
Split the jewels.
taint. your taint
your
surfing.
taint was there too?
Your taint surfing. So he ended up he was third, but and it was literally like inches.
What did his dog do in his backpack? Did
That's
dog hold on?
that's Alexi Vermeulen. He was not there.
Sorry, wrong guy.
So this is
what I get
this
for
is Alex
trying.
House. He's the EF education guy.
Okay. Oh, no, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And then the second day time trial, Griffin Easter ended up winning the time trial as well. It's a 5-mile uphill time trial. And then the last day of the 100-mile race, it was a 3-up sprint again.
Seriously?
At the very end. And Michael Vandenham literally won by like 2 inches over Alex House.
Like a bike throw? Did they have to have like high-speed camera? Or?
Yes, it took them
Oh,
a
wow.
minute to kind of figure out who won. So
That's crazy.
It was kind of exciting racing, and our weather was decent. We did get rained on the final day. I did not do the whole stage race. I just went and watched all the stages.
Did you do any of the stages?
The last day, but I only did the 56-mile race. So
you cherry-picked the kiddie race.
I cherry-picked the kiddie race.
All right.
But on the women's side, Sarah Max from Bend actually went out and won the stage race there as
job,
well.
Sarah.
Yeah, so Sarah has been just killing it this year. She's in like 10th or 12th in Lifetime Grand Prix Fitness.
Oh, wow.
And, you know,
Just came out to stay sharp and win
yeah.
another race.
And it's a really cool race. Carl Decker was there and Sarah Max were there. They're both from Bend. And I had a blast this last weekend hanging out with all these people, hanging out with Yuri Hosfold again and his wife and all these guys. So,
yeah. Other friend of ours, ex-local, Doug Lamy, right? Was that there?
yes, Doug.
I saw a picture. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, so we ran into each other at the registration, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what race you doing? Doug's like, yeah, I'm just gonna do the 56-mile race. I'm like, well, I'm doing that too, and he's like, okay, and I'm like, well, find me tomorrow. It ended up being chilly that morning, and he didn't have his arm warmers, so I loaned him a pair of arm warmers so that he could have something.
Sure.
And you know me. When we lined up, I lined up on the front row. I'm like, I don't care what. I'm just gonna line up right on the front row. And Doug was like 4 rows back, and I'm like, I just waved at Doug and like gave him the come here. I made him come up on the front row with me, and he's like, I don't belong up here, and I'm like, neither do I. But nobody cares. Let's just start from the front row. He's like, okay. So Doug came
Play
out.
the part. Yep.
Yeah. So it was good. The race for me actually went really well. 56 miles and about 4,000 feet of climbing with some big, gnarly gravel descents. Okay, that's right down my alley is big, long gravel descents. Big, long gravel climbs, not right down my alley. Mm-hmm. But there were like 300 people in the 56-mile race. And I ended up 7th place overall.
Dude, that's good.
Yeah.
Nice job.
So wait, and last year I think it was like 13th, and so I went like 10 minutes faster than last year and moved up a little bit. They don't have masters categories. They don't have age group categories. I would have been the 4th over 40-year-old that finished and the 2nd 50-year-old that finished. So
job, old man.
Yeah, it ended up being a good day for me. And Doug was only 10 minutes behind me or something like that. Good. So he was up there, pretty well. So good job, Doug.
Sounds like he's liking life out there in Idaho.
He is loving living in Boise. So.
How far away was the race from Boise?
It's like 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours from Boise. So it was nice. Him and his wife came up. His wife actually did the Tater Tot, her first ever bike race. Mm-hmm. So they both came up as well. So yeah, that was exciting. The bummer about me being at the Rebecca's Pride of Idaho is I missed the Hetmere cyclocross race.
The season opener.
The season opener for us here in the Portland area.
On lovely Vancouver Beach.
On the Vancouver
beach,
Lake.
Sandy beaches of Vancouver Lake.
It was a little bit different course this year, a little tighter, and the sand section was different than they've done it in years past.
Yeah, so before in the past, there was like a sand ramp that you would ride down to the beach, and a lot of people could like muster enough power to get
it to
exactly
the
just
beach.
power through it. And it was always funny because the people that don't know how to position themselves for the entry into the sand would always go flying over, and you'd see all kinds of awesome scorpions or people just like sailing over the bars, and it just like it was funny. You'd always get the best pictures there. But a lot of people would either dismount, or if you had some skills, you could ride down to the beach and get onto the harder packed part of the beach, and then you would ride the entire beach. And then to come back up, you had to dismount and run through the sand because I don't think anybody had the legs or the power to go through that uphill in deep, thick sand on a bike. So this year, they went in maybe halfway down the beach, or maybe it was like close to a third. So they only used maybe like a third or just more than a third of the beach. And it was kind of like a big crescent shaped bit. And it was all in thick sand. The very early races, there was some hard pack stuff and you could kind of get down there, but it was still pretty hard.
But you couldn't get to hard pack and like rest and ride it out.
Yeah.
So it was like ride as long as you can and then you're hopping off.
Yeah. And it was one of those things. It's like, all right, do I try and ride it as far as I can and smash my legs and get off and run and smash them even more? Or do I just get off and run the whole thing at a consistent pace? Which one was going to be the most economical energy wise? And it was kind of a mixed bag. I mean, some people who were a little bit lighter that had a little bit of power could float over the sand and go a little bit further. And I think that ultimately ended up being the right play. But more times than not, the best call was just to get off and run through at a very consistent pace with your bike mounted up, and you'd be good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't quite see as many casualties on that though. There weren't as many people trying to send it to get down to the beach, and that wasn't quite as fun, but it was still a great course. They did a good job.
Lots of people showed up. We had a lot of teammates there racing. I think the Cat 1-2 field was won by Landon Farnsworth, I believe. And I think second was a guy named Peter. I don't know this name. Where is it? Peter Bentley, and third was Zane Strait. Oh, Peter Bentley is a 16-year-old.
So that's why new up-and-comer coming.
Interestingly, I'm looking at the results, and Landon Farnsworth won the Cat 1-2 Open,
and
the Cat 2-3. He raced the Cat 2-3 just before the 1-2, and he won the single speed.
Yep,
he did 3 races and won all 3.
Nice work.
Yeah,
guy's a beast.
That's a beast.
Yeah, yep. We had a lot of people show up and do this race, and our good friend Scott Scholes, who runs Zone 5, was ecstatic at the numbers and the support that he got coming out there. It wasn't the biggest cyclocross race that I've ever seen, but it far and away exceeded what he had as his goal. I think it was probably somewhere between 450 and 500 people that signed up and raced.
Fantastic.
That's a great kickoff to the start of the season, and he's doing a fantastic job with Zone 5. He's got the social media on point. His races are on point. He's doing a lot of things that have never been done before with respect to really just providing good, solid information for people and encouraging people to come out and getting more people involved. And that it was just a great event. There wasn't much that I would change about it. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I spent the entire day there. We provided neutral support for the race.
Cool.
I was there and set up at 7:15, 7:30 in the morning, and we helped people throughout the course of the day, myself, Paul, and Cameron. And I got the chance to run around all over the place and take a bunch of pictures of everything, and that was a blast. And my hip was freaking yelling at me the next day
Oh,
for
boy.
it. But
After all the running around.
the number of steps that I made that day were pretty impressive for me. But got a bunch of great photos and really got a chance to talk to a lot of people. And the vibe was like a normal cross race. It was just fantastic, and it was just good to see it back. Stoked.
Teammates that won: David Barna, won. Cameron Berglund won. I'm going through here quickly.
Julia Barna won.
Julia Barna won. And I think that's it. Teammates who actually won, and several other on podiums.
Yeah, we had
Eric
a bunch
Duggar and Tom Counts.
Yep. Yeah, we had a bunch of people finish on the podium. A bunch of people finished top 5. A ton of people finished top 10. We had a lot of racers show up to that, so it was fun. It was good to watch.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Other than that, Champ out.
Champ Bailey out.
Cool. We haven't done this in a while. I want to say thank you because we still have a bunch of people that some reason want to support this show. They want to do this Patreon thing, which is fantastic. And I just wanted to say first and foremost, thank you for the continued support. And we want to do a Patreon drawing. Lance, what do we have sitting on the table here?
We got the special Patreon drawing tub.
Petri dish.
Oh,
the Petri dish.
We also have
growing
4.
But well, just one of the 4.
Brand new dialed cycling bottles from Polar. Or from Camelback.
Camelback. So yeah, it's
the Podium Chill bottle.
It is
from
a very nice water
Camelback.
bottle.
They're super nice.
These things are like the best. I've had a set of these things, no joke, for probably 13 or 14 years. I at one point in time had 4 of them, and now I only have 3 because I lost one in a race once. But it was a sad day. Lost a soldier. But anyway, these things last for eons. Good. They are super solid. You don't have to squeeze them super hard to get a big flow out of them, but they pull air back in and they fill up nicely. Like the water bottles that we've had for the past, I don't know, several years, 4 or 5 years have been good. Those Pierce bottles are good, but there's a lot of things that irk me about those things. They always leak. Like I hate it when you go to squeeze them and it shoots out the side because the bottle itself gets a little deformed. And the next thing you know, you've got like Scratch Lab stickiness all over your legs. I'm like, this is great. I get to deal with this for the rest of the ride. And then the other thing that really upset me is when you squeeze the water because you're trying to drink it, you had to squeeze really hard. And if it wasn't spraying all over, it would, stay squeezed. It wouldn't let the air come back in quickly. And so it was hard to get back into your thing. So these just don't do that. And so I finally was able to get some things made with Camelback. And we've got some really sweet bottles here. If you want to go check them out, I think we posted them up on Dialed Cycling's Instagram, not the podcast, but Dialed Cycling if you want to go check them out. And they're on the website too if you want to get one yourself.
I'm excited for these because my Dialed Cycling bottles are nasty.
You've seen better days.
They need to be thrown away.
Yeah. So if you want a bottle, you can go to the lab's website, Dialed Cycling, and check those out. But today we're going to give one away to one of our Patreons as a means of saying thank you. These things aren't cheap either, so this is a neat little prize. So Lance, you just lost somebody, or is that the person? Did they just jump out? And that's who it is.
Jumped out.
That's kind of cool.
So who is our winner?
Our winner today is Alan Walls.
Alan Walls. Okay.
I don't know who that is. That's fantastic. We have Patrons that I don't know who they are.
Well, Alan, if you are listening to this and you want to get your water bottle, shoot us an email. You can send that over to info@dialedcycling.com and we will get in touch with you. And if you're not here in the greater Portland area, we will ship it out to you and private mail, and you can support this thing. And
thank you, Alan, for being a
podcast.
patron. We appreciate it.
And if anybody else wants to be a patron, you can go to dialedcycling.com and you can look for the Dialed podcast on there. Click on that, and then on the homepage of the Dialed podcast, you will see the Patreon link there that you can follow, and you can pick a Patreon that works best for you. Pretty cool stuff.
Love it.
Thank you. And I guess you could also go to dieledpodcast.com. I think that also takes you there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Are we going to backpedal today? We want to just backpedal real quick?
We can backpedal quick.
Yeah.
Go, Matt.
I've been swimming a little bit. I did a bike ride with David Goodman on Monday, Memorial Day. It was great.
Oh, I got an invite to that. Thank you,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah. You were watching football. Probably.
All the way to friggin' Yelm to watch my son play football.
Yeah. Oh,
I talked to the football coach and I was asking about some stuff and he was like, we're going to Yelm. And I'm like, good luck with wherever that is. I think it's
like
just
2 hours,
nearby.
2 hours north.
Tacoma.
Yeah. Yep. Good luck.
Out there in the bushes.
Yeah.
Other than biking a little bit, I have been swimming with Master Swim Team and running with the Camus Cross Country program and mountain biking with the Camus Cross Country program. Yep. Mountain bike's still getting used.
Love it.
How about you, Lance?
I am in full cross prep mode now that I'm done with my gravel
season
racing.
over.
Yeah, gravel
Cross
season is over.
full force.
Yeah, so I'm still doing a couple workouts.
You Zwifted today.
A week.
What are you doing
Zwifted
tomorrow?
Today, tomorrow. There's a race on Sunday, and so
Start tapering.
I'm tapering for this race.
Right.
So it'll all be good. But I did a mountain bike ride last night, and Sean came out and rode with
Sean
us.
Martin.
Sean Martin. So
Yes.
happy to see him.
Was that the last dirt school for the season?
That was the last dirt school for the season. That was the plan.
I just want to go on the record and say thanks, Randy Frost, for putting those together. Sounds like everybody who showed up had a really good time.
They were awesome.
I was broken and I didn't have a mountain bike, so I missed this year, but I will be out next year.
We had a blast. There was like every night we did dirt school, somebody took a KOM on some segment there
geez.
because there's 10 of us and we end up, flexing off at each other. So that was a lot of fun. Last night I had a great time. So it's all been good.
Dirt school turned into dirt flexing.
Yeah. They're like, what am I shouldn't be riding with you guys. I'm like, that's exactly why you're here.
Yep.
Is to follow wheels and learn how to ride these trails faster. I learned a lot, so loved it. Thank you.
All right. My back pedal, I walked my dogs.
I love this is the Seinfeld episode.
One last thing, Matt LeGrand, go.
Posted a Koros video that I probably talked about in the last podcast. I don't remember if I did, but it did pretty well because the title of it again was we talked about this before the podcast, but it's like any title of videos that are controversial or whatever. This one was like Koros doesn't give a damn.
Right, and it did okay.
Oh yeah, people click on that, man. They want to see why Koros doesn't give a damn. And then I sent a message to the CEO of Koros because he is like really easy to. He's
good dude.
Very approachable.
Yeah,
and a super cool guy. And I was like, I'll change the title of this if you want me to. And he was like, no, I like it. It's got personality. And he's like, let me ask the team. And so this was like around Memorial Day, and he's like, everyone likes it. I was like, okay, cool.
Okay, go for it.
Because it is complimentary. It's like, the
video is complimentary.
It is. It's a very nice watch for $230. It's a great watch for that price point. And the whole thing was like, you're not supposed to put all your best features in your cheapest watch, but Koros doesn't give a damn.
They did
That's
it anyway.
kind of like the general concept, right? And it's good. It's a great watch, and that video has done quite well. And
we want numbers. You can't just say it did quite well. It
20,000 maybe or so in a week. Let me
go watch that some. Make a few bucks.
Let me give you some real numbers. 22,000 coming up on 23,000.
And how many weeks days has that been out?
I don't know, 7 maybe.
Okay,
it's been a week basically. I can tell you, maybe. Anyway, maybe I can't tell you, but it's 6 days. 6 days.
Job,
yeah. So
dude.
good.
Oh, wow.
Good
That's
video. Great. Good watch. And Koros doesn't give a damn.
And they don't give a damn.
This week, hopefully, we're at the end of this week, but hopefully before the end of this week, I get another video out, and it's going to be the $17 Apple Watch. Will it survive a swim? Spoilers. It doesn't.
No,
it does not survive. It does not survive the work that we put it through.
You're wearing an Apple knockoff that is dead.
The Apple Watch Ultra that is $17 doesn't survive swims. The one that's $800 does.
Oh,
so
that's curious.
Yeah, but so that's a fun video. Check it out.
How much does the band cost for the actual Apple Watch?
If you buy the Apple Watch Ultra band from Apple, $100.
Wait, what?
You can get 5 knockoff watches for the cost of the band.
And the knockoff watch comes with 2 bands.
Oh, and it comes with
that kind of work on the Apple Watch.
I was just going to say, does it work on there?
It kind of does.
So you could buy that and just use those bands if you like the bands, and just use the other thing for skipping stone. Yeah.
Skipping. Or you can just buy bands. And you can get bands. You can get like a dozen bands for like $15. And I made a whole video talking about the watch bands, and I'm just like, the pricing from Apple is ridiculous. Granted, like these have like titanium pieces in it and stuff like that, and the cheap ones are not.
Don't complicate it with details.
Yeah. Okay. Just get
cheap bands.
You have to buy one nice watch band when you get the Apple Watch. So choose that carefully, and then buy some cheap ones and mix it up.
It might end up on the bottom of the lake while you're swimming if the band comes off.
That's the thing.
Still.
Yeah, you really don't want just super cheap stuff falling apart on you. But
I got a question for you. What is that watch on your right wrist again?
Apple Watch Ultra.
Okay, who makes that?
Apple.
What do they have coming up?
So this is big news. This is most important news of the podcast.
Hold on.
Sepp Kuss. Wait. Yes. So I got invited to go down to Cupertino for the
What? You're a nobody.
I know, exactly.
How did you get invited to Cupertino?
This is absolutely ridiculous. So I asked my friend, I'm like, because I have quite a few friends that do YouTube or whatever, and he is like 100,000 whatever subscribers. Maybe he's got 150. I don't know, but he's got a lot of subscribers. And I'm sending a message. I'm like, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But would you go if you got invited? And I sent him a message like a while ago, and he was like, "Hell yeah, I would go if I get invited. I'm going." And he lives in Boston, and so he sent me a text message, and he's like, "I just got this email. I got an email from Apple. You're not going to believe this. I'm going to Cupertino.
I got invited."
And I go, "Oh, that's awesome." And as he's doing that, I'm like, "Let me just check my email for kicks." And I'm like, "Holy shit. You're not going to believe this. I got invited too." It makes zero sense. Like, you typically for that invite, you're like someone with like 1 million subscribers. It's kind of surprising that like even DC Rainmaker at like 300,000 subscribers gets to go to that, because usually it's like there's, I don't know, MKBHD, he has like 17 million subscribers. Like, it's just like, it's the big wigs. It's not place. And I have no one.
Those guys don't have a regionally ranked podcast.
They don't have a regionally ranked podcast. So that's I think the deciding factor.
That's the deciding factor. It's the Lance and Jake factor.
It's huge.
We're just pulling you along.
I'm surprised they didn't send me 3 invites.
Why can I go as your plus one?
Hey. We are trending in Taiwan.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
That could be it. that could be the situation. Yeah, so I have no idea why I'm going, but I'm super happy, and like it's like the whole press event, and then I have like a separate meeting afterwards with like probably the watch team and stuff. I don't know. It's
fantastic.
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but it's on the podcast.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
It's the drugs that I do that help me.
Congrats, Matt. I
they'll
love it.
They'll probably announce the Apple Watch Ultra 2. That would be my guess. And the iPhone 15. And so, yeah.
Please shoot some kind of vlog with like DC Rainmaker and DesFit.
And just be like, what am I doing
What
here,
am I
guys?
doing here?
Why am I here, guys? I'm just going to point the camera at them and be like, why am I here?
Just
go
bash
DC
yourself.
Rainmaker.
I
And
love
he'll just be like, I have no idea.
Yeah, you don't deserve to
do
be
not
here.
belong here.
Who are you? Why are you filming me?
Yeah. Yes. So that's what that's going to be about. It's going to be fun.
I love it.
Those guys pulled some strings. Matt's going to be the camera boy.
I know.
That's right.
I told him. I said
It's
that.
like-
That's literally what I said. I was like, I will be your camera guy. I do not belong here. So.
Oh, I love it.
What's your last thing, Jake?
Lance, you need to go. It's your turn.
Oh, I haven't gone yet?
No.
Oh.
One last thing.
Okay, I am
You're racing on
racing.
Sunday.
I am racing this Sunday. It is Corn Cross out in
Oh, that's a good one.
Boring, Oregon.
Yep.
So it's at the Leopold Farms. There's like the race course goes through the corn maze, kind of. They build this course. This is part of the Harvest Cross series, but it's put on by Eric Tonkin and Selwood Cycle.
Nice.
And so this is a difficult, hard race every year. Our weather actually looks quite excellent for it. It won't be muddy or nasty, knock on wood. So
It's been pretty nasty in years past, right? I mean,
yeah.
doesn't it get like super like
yeah.
peanut butter style
Yeah.
mud and just
the
almost unrideable?
The miles, the section through the corn. There's been years where it was unrideable.
Yeah.
Like I switched my bike every half lap.
And they've been doing that race forever.
It's been like 10 years, I think. Yeah.
Good race.
Yeah.
Nice.
So good race. So I'm going to do that. That's what's happening.
Cool.
With me. Yeah.
I got one last things. We do have after the Corn Cross, that's the double weekend out at Washougal.
Yes.
That is going to be a party. That's going to be good times. Everybody who is on our team, Dialed Cycling team, who is listening to that, we are having a team party out there on Saturday.
Yes.
Wow. That is going to be fantastic. And that is for everybody on the team. I don't care if you're a triathlete, Matt LeGrand, or if you're
I'll be in Steilacoom, Fort Steilacoom.
Crazy.
But
on Saturday?
Yeah.
Bummer.
That's where Nationals was.
Yeah, we're gonna have a party out there.
It's
And
the same
so
place, exactly.
We're gonna teach our team, the ones that don't do cyclocross, what cyclocross is all about. Teach them about a little bit of heckling and have them,
that'd be fun.
do all the fun things. And we're gonna have a party and food and drinks, and we're gonna make this the thing. So
fantastic,
teammates! If you hear that, get your butt out there.
Come out to Washougal. You will not regret it.
That'd be fun.
Although I'm racing at 9:00, so you probably won't be there in time to scream nasty things at me.
I think that's the first race of the day. Second race of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it go off in the first heat though, and it's the second race in the first heat?
Nope.
Okay.
It's the second race of the day.
Gotcha. So the first race is what,
8:30.
8:30. Okay. Come out, watch that, and if you want to race too, pin on a number. Anybody that wants to like try cyclocross, that's the place to go. And they've got some good like beginner classes. They've got open course, so you can go out there and check it out. You can ride it on a mountain bike or a gravel bike if you want to. You don't have to have a cross specific bike. Come out and check it out. They will be doing the same thing again on Sunday.
Exciting.
We won't be doing a team party, but we'll be out there in force doing our thing.
Yes.
So, and then the Dialed Cycling Lab will be out there supporting both days as neutral support and a sponsor of the event, helping out the old Zone 5 boys.
Love it.
On another note, a little bit more of a somber note, we have a teammate, and his name is Chris Ryle. I think I'm saying Ryle. Is it real or Ryle? I think it's real.
Sure.
I think it's real.
It might be real.
Yeah. Anyway, Chris is he's a phenomenal guy. He's a huge fan of this podcast. He actually made, do you remember the Lego thing with the DC podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Out of
that's
Legos.
cool.
And we have it on display down at the lab. It's fantastic. The thing is just super cool. This guy is a huge supporter of our juniors program. Like he's always out and about. He runs cross deals all the time. And there's sometimes like Marshalls or whatnot, and whatever, he's in there getting something, but he goes in there specifically to look at the cycling section to buy stuff to donate to the juniors team.
Oh, wow.
I lost track of how many pairs of shoes, cycling shoes, that he's brought in, and they're brand new.
Oh, wow.
And he's getting them. I mean, he's probably paying anywhere from like 10 to 20 bucks for a pair of like $80 to $150 pair of shoes that somebody just gave to Goodwill or Marshalls or whatever it might be. But he buys them, brings them in, and then we give them to the juniors or people that are in need, that are trying to get into the cycling community.
Wow.
He's doing that kind of stuff all the time. He's always out volunteering. I think he originally was a triathlete, but I think we did a good job kind of converting him. He does more mountain bike and cyclocross stuff now, which is fantastic. And
he's been at the mountain bike races already this year. I've seen him several times.
And he's just a super nice guy. I mean, you don't meet a nicer, more genuine guy who really wants to just be a part of this. He wants to give back and he wants to challenge himself, and he's doing cool stuff. Well, we found out yesterday that he had a stroke, and I don't know exactly what the day was, but it was probably within like the last week or two, and it wasn't good. He has been since discharged. He's
not in the hospital anymore.
He's not in the hospital anymore. He has been discharged to home. He is dealing with some paralysis issues, I think, a little bit maybe. He's got some gait motor issues. He can't, I don't believe he has any vision in his right eye right now. He's got processing and just a lot of things that happen with a stroke. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this is something that he can kind of rebound from. He can come back, and with the proper care and whatnot, he can get back to hopefully being able to live a quasi-normal life, and hopefully like really being able to get back on a bike and be competitive again, and just do the things that he loves to do. So we're really hoping that happens. Now, the downside is he was the provider for the house. It was, he's married. He's got a lovely wife. They've got 3 kids, and his wife stays at home with the kids, and he's the one that works. So I don't know their situation, but I do know that when you have a stroke and you're in the hospital and you're stuck at home and you're dealing with all kinds of stuff, you're probably not going to be able to work the way that you were. So I don't know what his supplemental income was or his disability income or whatever that might be. I'm sure they're working on that right now, but they need help. And we have put out a call to our team that, hey, this is what happened. And we put that out this morning. And I am absolutely blown away. I'm not going to say names, but you know who you are. Thank you. You guys are fantastic. We've already raised a ton of money.
Good.
We're going to be able to buy some things that are going to really help out the family with like a Fred Meyer gift card. They live relatively close to Fred Meyer. They've got groceries. They've got all of the food that's already pre-prepared. They've got gas. They've got all the things that's relatively close to their house, and it's super convenient. And we've actually been able to raise enough money to buy a very significant gift card to that, as well as we're going to be able to do a Grubhub gift card so that they can kind of not have to worry about food for like the next week. And I really just want to, tell anybody that might want to help out this gentleman who's just a good guy, whether it's just like $1 or $2 or however much you want to give, it doesn't matter. It all adds up at the end of the day. If you want to help out, you can, if you want more details, you can email us at info@dialedcycling.com. Or if you just want to cut to the chase, we're not using GoFundMe because they take a percentage of everything, and we think we can better manage the funds than them. And you can go to our Venmo account, which is @DialedCyclingTeam. And you'll see the logo on there, the Dialed Cycling Team logo, so you'll know that that's actually us. And the funds will go straight into there, and that money will be going 100% to the real family, so that
is
they can
it
be
Dialed
supported.
Cycling in triathlon?
Is at Dialed Cycling Team. So you'll see the Dialed Cycling Team logo, and any bit will help. And the guy, again, super cool, and we just want to get back and help the family so that they're good to go. So everybody who's given, thank you very much. Anybody who is planning on giving, thank you very much. And we just want to see Chris get better, and we'll continue to give everybody updates and hopefully help and support him, and make him a happy guy and get him healthy again. So thanks.
Good luck, Chris.
Yeah. On that note, we're going to call it a day. We will be back next week with another one of these. Thank you for listening. And until then, bye for now.